Cartels, like any other groups in society, cannot stand on their own. The growth of this criminal circle is directly linked to who they know and who is on their side. The Kinahan Cartel, one of the most notorious cartels in the world, existed for many years, both by their strengths and the strengths of who they know and the criminal units they have teamed up with. Join us in today's video as we take a close look at the Kinahan Cartel and the dangerous allies they have teamed up with over the years that have made it a formidable force. The Kinahan Cartel, a powerful Irish criminal organization with ties to drug trafficking, money laundering, and violence, have forged alliances with other dangerous cartels around the world. These alliances have enabled this infamous criminal group to expand its operations and reach, making it a formidable threat to law enforcement agencies worldwide. Let's talk about each of the allies. El Rico. A key ally of the Kinahan Cartel is El Rico, a Mexican drug lord who controls a significant portion of the methamphetamine trade in Mexico. According to the Dutch Police Prosecution Service, El Rico was a leader of a criminal organization that carried out assassinations, traded in cocaine, and laundered money. The Dutch-Chilean drug trafficker Ricardo Riquelme Vega, whose nickname means the Rich One, was sentenced to 11 years in jail after being convicted of running a gangland assassination ring. Although El Rico is suspected of involvement in certain specific assassinations, he was never convicted for any particular one, and his sentence was limited to 11 years. He has, however, been transferred to a lighter prison regime, Ian Van Dag reports, as he is due for release in 2025. El Rico has been convicted following a lengthy trial in a fortified court known as the Bunker, located near Amsterdam Airport. His trial heard evidence that he had exchanged phone messages organizing gangland murders with jailed drug boss Taghi. Judges were also told how Dubai-based Kinahan was in a video on a phone seized from El Rico following his arrest and extradition to Holland from Chile in 2017 that also featured Italian fugitive Imperial and another unidentified man. In 2017, the DEA said the cartel was shipping 100 tons of cocaine to Europe every year through ports such as Antwerp and Rotterdam in the Netherlands. After those arrests, several gangsters fled their Dubai base and have since set up shop in Turkey, from where they organized the shipping and distribution of huge volumes of cocaine throughout Europe. The Kinahan Cartel and El Rico have reportedly worked together on drug shipments and money laundering operations. Their alliance has helped to strengthen the Kinahan Cartel's position in the global drug trade. Taghi. Ridouan Taghi is 45, a Moroccan-Dutch drug lord who is considered one of Europe's most wanted criminals. Taghi is one of the Kinahan Cartel's most notable allies. This infamous drug lord is currently in court on murder charges. Rumor has it that Taghi was indeed involved in this series of homicides. Taghi is believed to have been involved in the murder of several rivals and is suspected of controlling a large portion of the cocaine trade in Europe. The Kinahan Cartel and Taghi have reportedly collaborated on drug shipments and money laundering operations. Their alliance has been a major source of concern for law enforcement, as it has made it more difficult to disrupt their criminal activities. It is alleged that Kinahan, El Rico, Imperial, Taghi, and another imprisoned Dutch drug lord, Neafal, Belly Fassi, were part of a cartel that dominated Europe's drug trade. Belly Fassi was jailed for 18 years for attempted murder in Holland after he was extradited from Dublin in 2017. Co-accused Taghi, who was separately on trial at the Bunker for allegedly organizing 7 murders, had been a fugitive from Dutch authorities for years until his arrest in late 2019 in Dubai, where he had previously been a guest at Daniel Kinahan's wedding in the 7-star Burj Al Arab Hotel in 2017. Taghi's text to El Rico form a large part of the evidence against him. Leaked documents later show the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, or DEA, had compiled a dossier on the wedding party and estimated the gangsters had together imported 23 billion euros worth of cocaine into Europe. Rafael Imperial. Another notorious drug lord that happens to be allies with the Kinahan Cartel is Rafael Imperial. One almost inevitable trait of cartels and their allies is the undaunting bond of trust and loyalty they share. Not only is Rafael Imperial a most trusted ally of Kinahan, he is also one of the few allies Kinahan refers to as a friend. Originally one of the most infamous drug lords in Italy, Rafael ranks number 2 on Italy's most wanted list until his extradition in 2017. King of the Narcos, as he is also called, has now become state witness against the drug mafia he was a high-ranking member of for over 2 decades, Camorra. This international drug lord has now been identified alongside the Moroccan-Dutch criminal Ridouan Taghi, Bosnian criminal Eden Gassanin, Vega, and of course Daniel Kinahan by the Dutch police as the heads of a cartel front known as the Super Drug Cartel. Clan de Golfo. The Kinahan Cartel also has ties to Clan de Golfo, a Colombian drug cartel that is considered one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Latin America. Clan de Golfo is involved in drug trafficking, extortion, and paramilitary activities. The Kinahan Cartel and Clan de Golfo have reportedly collaborated on drug shipments and money laundering operations. Their alliance has given the Kinahan Cartel access to new markets and sources of supply. The Kinahan Cartel's alliances with Taghi, Rico, and Clan de Golfo's pose a significant threat to law enforcement agencies around the world. These alliances have enabled the Kinahan Cartel to expand its operations and reach, making it more difficult to disrupt its criminal activities. In addition, the Kinahan Cartel's allies have extensive experience in violence and intimidation. This experience makes them more dangerous adversaries for law enforcement. Law enforcement agencies around the world are working to combat the Kinahan Cartel and its allies, using systems like sharing intelligence information, conducting joint investigations, freezing assets, and extradition of suspects. These efforts have, however, been hampered by the Kinahan Cartel's sophisticated communication and money laundering networks. The Kinahan Cartel's alliances with Taghi, Rico, and Clan de Golfo make it a formidable threat to law enforcement agencies around the world. These alliances have enabled the Kinahan Cartel to expand its operations and reach, making it more difficult to disrupt its criminal activities. Law enforcement agencies are working to combat the Kinahan Cartel, but every mission to combat has been proved abortive. This only leaves us with one huge question. Is the syndicate greater than the government? What are the odds?